People are often curious about spousal support, or something that's more commonly known as alimony. There are multiple types of alimony. There's temporary alimony or temporary spousal support. That's awarded while the divorce is pending. So while you're going through the divorce, you can either have support or be supportive, depending on who the higher earner is. There's also rehabilitative alimony. That alimony is designed to help someone get through school or build their skills so they can get a better paying job. That alimony will typically be short term and just to get them by while they get the skills that they need. Other alimony can be much more long term. Alimony can be agreed to for a certain number of years, or it can be permanent alimony, which lasts until one of the parties dies or the person receiving the alimony remarries. The longer the relationship, the more likely the alimony period will be longer. A lot of times, a rule of thumb that I would tell someone during a consultation with our office, most of the time on a shorter term marriage, let's say 8 or 10 years, the alimony won't exceed half the length of the marriage. But if you've been in a marriage for 20 or 30 years, or the marriage is later in life and you can't return to the job force, then alimony can be ordered for the rest of your lives. The courts will consider so many things when they're trying to decide what your spousal support obligation either is or what amount of spousal support you're receiving. They'll look at the income of both parties and the expenses of both parties. And what they're trying to do is to cover the expenses for both parties with the income of both parties. You can have income imputed if you're not working and the court believes you should be. They can decide that you should make a certain amount of money and act like you do in all of their mathematical calculations. That being said, the court cannot take things that would be discriminatory into account when they're deciding spousal support. So they can't consider your gender, your race, or your sexual orientation. The only things they can look at are things that would be appropriate to determine a proper alimony amount. Typically, the longer you're married, the more likely it is you'll receive some sort of financial assistance in the form of spousal support or alimony. If you have a 2-year marriage, it's not likely that the court is going to award anything past temporary spousal support, and that's just while the case is pending. But if you've been married for 8, 10, or even more years, then it's likely the court will consider alimony if your income is different. If one person earns vastly more than the other, they're likely to have to pay spousal support for a period of time. A lot of times that's half the length of the marriage, but you can agree to any length and amount of spousal support in a negotiation. The longer that you've been married and the older that you are will also play a factor in how long and how much alimony is awarded. The court's going to look at a 30-year marriage and know that you built your life and your retirement together. And they're going to be more likely to give a lifetime spousal support than they are in a 10-year marriage. Keep in mind that alimony is not something that the courts impose in every case. In fact, if the income is the same or similar, regardless of how long you've been married, it's not likely that there's going to be a spousal support award. If you're looking at divorce and you have questions about spousal support or alimony, and you're trying to figure out if you should even ask for alimony or what chances it is you will get alimony, how long or how much, give us a call at Addie's Law. We're happy to help.